What makes SpaceX's suit so good? Organizations that deal with space travel are usually very interested in several things, like the spacecraft to use, the comfort of their astronauts, funds for their explorations, and so much more. Only a few of these organizations take into consideration the design of their spacesuit. SpaceX is one such company, which is not only interested in the comfort and success of their flights, but is very interested in how good their spacesuit would look and the features it should come in. Before we get further into this video, make sure you hit that like button. Kindly subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you can keep up to date with all of our most exciting and latest content. SpaceX's ostentatious new spacecraft merges the utopian confidence of vintage sci-fi and audacious lines of a couture tuxedo. This flashy suit is said to have been designed by the Hollywood costume creator behind Batman's legendary rubber six-pack. But the wonder of this creation is, how was SpaceX able to trim the suit? Was it the same suit Musk blasted into the inky void while on the wheel of his Tesla Roadster? All these and many more will make up part of our discussion as we model the ultimate fashionable tech suit and discover what makes SpaceX's astronaut suit so special. Join us as we begin the modeling. Veteran NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, sometime in May of last year, blasted off from Florida in a test flight to the International Space Station. Now, not only were they making history at that time, sitting comfortably in their private sector SpaceX Crew Dragon casing right on top of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, but the duo also made the flight kitted out in matching SpaceX spacesuits that were so attractive. Despite giving off the look of the Stig from Top Gear, or like off-brand stormtroopers, Behnken and Hurley were simply covered in praise for their eye-catching new high-tech threads. Behnken even admitted to having a strong desire to give the suit a 5-star rating for its unique feel, while Hurley gushed about how flexible the suit was. He made a remark about how it was super easy to get in and out of it in zero-G. Both happily confirmed the new SpaceX suits were enormously superior to the massive orange pumpkin jobs that were the trend during their glory days on the shuttle program. So, the question is, what are these new SpaceX spacesuits created for? This is something really important to clarify here, guys. Despite our favorite astronauts donning these suits to blast off into space some months ago, no one will be performing a spacewalk in these suits anytime soon. The simple reason is this. These suits were made strictly for wear only during rocket launches and landings. This is to avoid the awful tragedy that occurred to 3 cosmonauts on the 1971 Russian Soyuz 11 mission. The report had it that all 3 of the cosmonauts, by name Viktor Patsayev, Georgy Dobrovolsky, and Vladislav Volkov, all perished in mid-flight when the rocket Soyuz tragically decompressed 168 kilometers above sea level. With this in mind, the SpaceX suit was designed to avoid all of that and more. These new suits are created to serve as an emergency bubble of Earth-like pressure in a crisis like the exact one that befell the Soyuz. Before they launch using the 2 astronauts, Elon Musk confirmed that the suits have been rigorously tested in what he called a double vacuum pressure. These tests were done with the astronauts inside the suits. Bob even claimed that they could put on suits and go through a scenario where the suits are expected to inflate. Now, that is something. This suit seems to have more confidence to boast than every other suit we may likely meet. Behnken never stopped talking about the sort of training that came with the suit, such that he never experienced with the old-school pumpkin suit. The impression of the level of training was not lost on Doug as well. He made remarks about how important the Versus PowerPoints and virtual presentations were. For him, it was a massive win. Besides keeping the astronauts alive in an emergency decompression situation, these awesome suits are also flame-proof. They are designed to keep the occupants cool using piped-in airflow during any fire outbreaks. This cooling air and gases for the all-important pressurization are piped in through the astronaut's chair, which was perfectly created in tandem with the suit. With this in place, both pieces of kit are fully simpatico. Connection to the suit itself happens via an umbilical cord that joins discreetly at the thigh. Electrical and communication cables also enter the suit at the same point. And that's not all. The new space helmet protects owners from the formidable mini-decibels racket of the engine and also flaunts microphones and speakers in order to facilitate clear, two-way communication between the crew and mission control at the ground level. This classy helmet, which is 3D printed to taste, also boasts nifty mechanisms which control visor retraction and locking, as well as the necessary gas valves. This is one feature that makes the helmet stand out amongst most. And for the hand, there is the Smart Glove. Those smart gloves aren't just capable of maintaining healthy ambient pressure across the astronaut's precious hands. They are also perfectly optimized for use on the Dragon capsule's onboard touchscreens. With the gloves on the hand, astronauts never encounter troubles of switching from the gloves to their bare hands to operate the ship. Well, with the entire gadget intact, there is no doubt that our astronauts are very happy and safe from any unforeseen danger. You should also know that these magnificent suits are about 40% lighter than other spacesuits. Now, this feature isn't even what makes the SpaceX suit very special. The mission director for the organization once said the suit was designed specifically to keep the crew safe. However, she added that the suit is also inspiring. Naturally, to achieve this inspirational touch to the suit, Musk and his team must have looked beyond the occasional plain space hardware contracts and gotten help from the world of fashion. This is evident since Elon employed the services of Jose Fernandez, a leading Hollywood costume designer, during the creation of this suit. Jose's work has been worn by big-screen superstars from Wolverine to Wonder Woman, Spider-Man to the Avengers, the X-Men to Captain America, and so much more. Fernandez was so famous and great at what he did that when he was contracted back in 2016 to create SpaceX's suit, he had no knowledge of a then small-time industrialist, Elon Musk. Jose Fernandez reportedly spent several months drafting and redrafting designs with Musk. According to Jose, Musk, as unconventional as ever, insisted he takes his initial cues from the world of formal wear. So, for SpaceX's boss, all he wanted was to make a spacesuit looking less like a pumpkin and more similar to an astonishing tuxedo. Personally, this must have been a very tedious task for a Hollywood designer. I mean, getting a project that gives you an opportunity to create a real-life costume normally created for make-believe sets would definitely be a nervous job. Practically, he was expected to create spacesuits that look as great as they look in the movies, but actually work. The expected spacesuit would do all that and still be a pressure suit that would survive in a vacuum. Nevertheless, Jose didn't fail to make us proud. He got on the job like the pro he was and delivered an excellent result. So, how was this pulled off? The edges of these SpaceX suits are given characterization by subtly darker panels that create a tapering effect, gently molding the astronaut's torso into a more fetching form. Well, yeah, more like a tux. Added to all that masculinity are the glossy seams running from collarbone to knee and the out-of-this-world charm of knee-high boots. And trust me, these would one day turn heads on the launch pad. A remarkable fact is that the finished suit is so super slim that Elon Musk had to issue a clarification that it actually was real and not simply a mock-up. A former Disney Imagineer and SpaceX suits and crew equipment manager, Chris Trigg, was so impressed with this suit, he went on to compare it with the bulky ones used in NASA. According to him, one of the things that made the suit so cool was the fact that it's not just another piece of hardware. It is a personal thing. A look at the astronauts putting it on back then, you would agree it seemed tailored specifically for their utmost comfort. And it was a perfect fit, too. They were made in-house at SpaceX Hawthorne manufacturing facility, alongside SpaceX rockets and capsules. You might ask, what's the point of making spacesuits stylish at all? Musk and Jose worked together, figuring out how to reverse engineer the design in order to make it fit for duty. But when you look into it, the iconography of spacesuits has always been somewhat a matter of aesthetics. The initial idea was to make them in military green, but instead, designers opted for silver. Why? While silver's reflective properties were maybe a minor factor, reports have it that designers went with silver mainly because silver looks quite futuristic and so awesome. Evidently, the 21st century generation's context of commercial space travel, image, and branding matter is more important than anything else. Speaking of cool stuff, you should probably know that one of SpaceX's suits is right now looping around the sun in Elon's old cherry red roadster. And by the way, the suit, aka Starman, isn't a mock-up. It is as real as the very air we breathe. That's it, guys, on what makes SpaceX's suits so good. What do you think? Is styling the spacesuit a valuable thoughtfulness for modern-day space programs? Let us know in the comments section. Check out the other videos we make and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now. See you in the next video.